You're listening to the Phatcast, live from the studio with Colin Reynolds.
Them dreams before they fall, sliding down, now they're gone. I didn't think it'd take so long. How a simple thing could go so wrong, go so wrong. Oh, so wrong. I've been so lonesome, been so down. Seen a grown man cry his eyes out, circling round the fire, get his heart burnt with so much desire, just to catch them dreams before they fall, sliding down, now they're gone. I didn't think it'd take so damn long. How a simple thing could go so wrong, go so wrong, go so wrong, wrong. I've seen some people from around trying to get their hands upon the ground. For every path it's harder to take, trapped in thoughts so hard to break, just to catch them dreams before they fall, sliding down, and now they're gone. I didn't think it'd take so long. 'Cause how a simple thing could go so wrong, go so wrong, go so wrong. Catch them dreams before they fall, sliding down, now they're gone. I didn't think it'd take so long. How a simple thing could go so wrong. Cheers, man.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Phatcast. You're here with your host, Colin Reynolds, and today my special guest, Mr. Joel Imber.
Hello, Colin. How you going, mate?
Good.
Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for coming and thanks for playing that little number for us.
No worries, man.
Oh, what's the name of the song?
So the song's called Catch, and it's really about just making sure you don't let your dreams and hopes sort of, dwindle away in life and keep hold of the eye on the prize,
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important too, can you imagine what life would be like without having some sort of dream or aspiration?
Oh, you'd just be like a droid bot walking through your life.
Right. I'm sure we see them.
Hey, don't get me wrong. You can live life in any way that you want to, but for me, it's like hardwired that way. I think even the earliest memories of meeting you, Colin, and many other people.
How long ago
lines,
was that?
2001 maybe.
Something like that.
Oh no, probably 2000, I reckon. But yeah, whether it's music, whether it's aspirations to be a pastry chef, whatever, just go for it.
You made any pretzels lately?
Nah, but my brother's killing it, man. Shout out to the Candy Van. He's absolutely doing amazing with his donut world. He's like the Tony Montana of the donut world.
Well, I have a friend. His name's Nicholas Knibber.
Yep.
And his younger brother, Joshua Knibber.
Right.
He's a donut man as well.
Really?
He really is.
Nice.
This is terrible of me to not know the name of his business.
No,
Right
it's
now,
okay.
'cause I can't
It's
plug
okay.
him.
We can't. That's right.
But he's a serious donut maker.
Heavy duty.
Yeah.
Oh, look. No, look. I am so
Didn't realise
envious.
the donut world was so competitive.
Oh, look, speaking of competitive, Nathan, my bro, actually is a competitive eater. Well, he was, maybe still is. But
Wow.
yeah, he took out the Australian hot dog eating competition, So his eyes are on many different prizes. But yeah, runs in the family.
It's an interesting sport. A few years ago, I don't know the name of the guy, but like the world champion was this little Japanese guy.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. I think
Right.
I've seen, a few of them. Yep.
And so I was reading an article about this guy.
Right.
And it was like two commentators were like backwards and forwards.
For real.
And one said, this guy, he's like the Michael Jordan of the competitive eating world.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the other guy goes,
Yeah.
no, you're ridiculous. This guy eclipses Michael Jordan for the margins he beats other people by.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Hey.
Yeah.
There's a guy, I feel like I want to say something to do with Munchies. He's got this hat on. It's called Munchies. Anyway, I forget his name, but he just annihilates. Like there's some competitive eaters out there, but this guy is absolutely the real deal. But yeah, it's wear and tear on your body, and
it would
serious training.
It would kill you, wouldn't it?
Serious training. Yeah,
Wow.
my parents are just like, watch yourself.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, somebody would guess, oh wow, someone's a competitive eater. They must be like this huge fat dude.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. The opposite is true.
That's right.
The
This
opposite is
guy,
true.
this guy is skinny as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should become a competitive eater to lose weight.
Hey, look, it could be the reverse effect. Let's start it together. New diet.
That's it.
All right.
Hot dogs and donuts.
Done. Sorted.
Great. So what kind of work do you do these days?
Okay, so in terms of the work world, not my old Joel busking back in the day, this is my job kind of thing, which I do love. Youth work was the work that I fell into all those years ago, back in 2006 started, and 14 odd years of doing that in the youth centre in Hobart, working for the council there. That was my training sort of ground, and my passion and my interest allowed me to do all the things I love and work with people. Got me to a place where I started thinking, how do I branch out from here? And yeah, kind of started my own business, Create Crew, which is really, I guess, utilizing
Is this related to your street art?
Yeah, the street art stuff. That's it. Yeah. So, which I'll talk about in a second, but Create Crew really is myself as a sole trader, as a youth worker, using creative engagement, doing project work, workshops, mentoring. And so I get to travel around. Before with my council work, it was sort of more in the youth centre stuff. So it's pretty much, that was my main hub and space that I work from.
Yep.
But I've been doing that part-time for about 3 years, and only since October last year I went full-time. So it's cool.
Now, was it your involvement with the DNA dance Yadna back in the day.
Holy moly, we're talking Justin here, man. This is the person before me.
Right.
Yes.
No, so no, I knew, you had got involved in that somehow. I was wondering, did that lead to the youth work?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. So Justin was a great guy who was connected with the youth centre before me. He was teaching dance, and I don't know what your connections was like back in the day, whether it was from the youth centre or if you knew people.
I only knew him to run into him and talk to him.
Yeah, cool. So he was really active, particularly with dance and going out and about in the community, and also helping, sort of get Youth Arc up and running.
Because I remember you being a rather enthusiastic dancer.
Oh yeah, well, as he was too.
He was.
But it was funny because around the sort of that time that we met, and a good friend Tom, or a good friend, there was another guy that I met called Sean, and I was busking in the mall, and then this guy, he's looking like, R&B music film clip from 2000s. He was dressed all in white, like, got glasses on, and he's doing all this kind of like popping thing, and I'm like, what was that? How did you do that? And so he taught me, and I'm like, quick, come with me. And then I took him to see Tom and the crew in the house. And I'm like, you got to learn this. And we were there for, ages. So from there, we met other dancers, and then we got connected with the youth centre, and Justin was teaching dance there, and another guy running.
I remember seeing Tom practice those like floats like every day.
Insane. Yeah. But look, the dance thing was something that stuck with me for a while. That was my connection to the youth centre as well as graffiti art.
Yep.
And the going to the youth centre was just, I'm talking about like, I grew up in the country, man. I know bush and, hanging out, riding my bikes and playing video games. Here I come into the big smoke, the big city, Lewisham. That's right, well, beyond. And come into the youth centre. I'm like, my God, look at this joint. This is massive warehouse. I mean, it was a bit run down, but it was cool. It was uniquely its own space. And there was this massive mural, which my mentor, Ruben, longtime friend, he painted this huge mural. And I was just like, how on earth did you do that? And then the manager said, there's a workshop happening in the rivulet, which doesn't happen now because, it's pretty hectic. But yeah, underground of Hobart City, we used to go down there.
I remember the rivulet.
Yeah, we all know the rivulet back in the days. Now it's all fenced up, so, don't do anything naughty. But yeah, going through under the city, we'd be doing workshops and learning how to use spray paint, and basically
because there's so much real estate in terms of wall you can use.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was this big gallery
spots that had natural light.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You know the joint all too well.
Oh, certainly. And like, for example, just in the centre of Elizabeth Street Mall.
Yeah.
That was like the crown spot.
Correct.
Where if you could stand in the mall and see your piece from there. That's like the prime real estate.
Pretty much. That's it. Yeah, man. So the youth centre, in a sense, introduced me to hip hop culture. There's some people that have different opinions about the elements and how they're connected, but what's been promoted really has been around sort of graffiti art, rap music, or making beats, DJing and so forth. And then you got your dance and DJing and a few other things. And Youth Arc embraced that culture.
Yep.
So yeah, I've gone from like this bush boy to like, all right. Ironically, I was in my Cradle of Filth goth gear.
Sure.
So I'm like, man, whoosh, off goes Danny Filth and on goes Wu-Tang.
Yep.
And then next minute, it's all about hip hop and busking. And but that's another story with busking,
Sure.
But we were just mallies, just having fun. And the youth centre was down from the mall. And then that sort of become a long journey, I suppose, and being connected with youth centre, having opportunities to volunteer, get some work. And I was like, my God, I'm getting paid to teach people how to do graffiti. And I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's all right. We're having fun. Yep. The main thing was, the support was there. I enjoyed working with people. And I think that was kind of, the skill set there.
Does Ernest still work with do youth work?
No, a long time ago, Ernest. I'm not sure where Ernest is at now, but that was a while ago. There's a few people that have been around the traps and still are connected. Yeah.
Like, for example, the as you said, the Yadna thing was Justin's project.
Oh yeah.
And like before that.
Oh yeah.
See, I was connected.
Are you old?
I'm old.
Right.
Well, I'm not that much older than you.
Okay. Right.
But I was there the year before that. The year before it was the dance. we were doing
Sure.
small business enterprise.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The very earliest stages. So the youth centre opened up in 98 and
Yep.
still running.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, okay, cool.
Well, see, that's when I met Ernest.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
And,
nice.
well, Justin I actually met because essentially we just spent a lot of time in the mall.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
And Justin worked at Sanity, which was like the record store in the mall.
For those who don't know, old school.
Once upon a time, there was a thing called a CD.
Yeah, that's right. And Anthony, Dancing Man, RIP.
Oh, Anthony Day.
Yeah,
of course I remember Anthony.
Beautiful man. Beautiful man. He'll be there
Rest in
dancing.
peace.
Yes. He'll be there dancing outside the mall, man. Yeah, beautiful guy.
Yeah. Didn't he do street art as well?
Oh, he did a lot of artwork and poetry, actually.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. But that's the thing about...
He used to carry his notebook around with him.
It's all flooding back now.
He'd be sitting there at the pub, and there'd be someone he didn't know sitting on the complete opposite side.
Yeah.
And he'd just be there, like,
really?
sketching him. And, you know, he had this book, like, I'd love to find that.
Wow.
That'd be a gold mine of art.
Yeah. Look, there were so many characters and still are of, creative nature that, have been floating around the traps. And for me, like, I just love the adventure of the city because it was very much, it was like those choose your own adventure books. It's like, who am I going to go, where I'm going to go, who am I going to meet, like, how are we going to roll? We're going to go from one place to another. Do we go down Salamanca? And then who knows what adventures lay ahead. These days, we're a bit more like, all right, go to work, beautiful family at home, play some video games. Oh, bedtime. Okay.
It's a different thing now.
It is a different world.
And Hobart's it's a different place.
It is.
So tell me about... So I just saw your most recent musical project, the Rumble.
Tell
us about the Rumble.
Well, nearly the most recent.
Oh, you got more recent than this.
Well, on the side hustle, I was there with a producer, Callum Ball, and we've been making a synthwave vibe going on. Yeah, so that was during COVID.
I get into a bit of the synthwave myself.
Yeah, you like it? Yeah.
Like John Carpenter and Carpenter Brute. And
I have no idea, man. I honestly know very little about it other than Kickboxer Van Damme, soundtrack. Oh, not so cow. I love that business. Just general 80s vibes. Yeah, I haven't actually. The Midnight's a really good group that I found. But yeah, definitely the. I guess where I sort of came from was listening to The Weeknd's. So The Weeknd's album, not the most recent one, but the one before that with Blinding Lights, and sort of I like that vibe. Had the R&B with some electronic sort of sounds. So then from there, I was like, well, let's try and make something like that. And so that was really cool. But the Rumble has been really. Song ideas I had from my loop station. I went to go see Zav and Kara.
Oh,
so
Zav.
Shout out Zav and Kara,
guitarist.
amazing guitarist and all around good guy. So he's got a studio out at Margate, and so I've done a little bit of work with Zav. And I said, Zav, how about we just lay some ideas down? So I've got them there. And how about you chuck some guitar on there? He's like, okay, cool. Well, what about Ben? So Ben's a great bass player as well. And so he jumped on, and I'm like, maybe we could get some drums on this one. So then, next minute we're calling this guy Hans, and he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
And then we're just vibing it, and it was amazing because I had these song ideas, but what was cool was I just did the kind of the skeleton tracks, you know, and then I sat back and I'm like, all right, go for it, guys. And these guys hadn't even rehearsed this thing, and I'd just be there with the monitors on, the headphones on. I'm like, man, no way. These guys are amazing. They're just full session musos. They're looking at each other like, oh, here we go. And then it's just like the magic happens. And then all of a sudden there was a real sound that was happening. And I was like, what do you reckon? Maybe you fit in like your 20th band, and maybe you can help me out here. So we were joking around. Kind of referring to some sort of analogy around having a fight or something, and then we're like, the Rumble, like maybe we'll stick with that.
It's not a bad sound.
It's all right. It's good.
I mean, the sound of the name. It's a great name.
Yeah. It doesn't sound too masculine.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe it does.
Well, I didn't even think about it in that lens.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No. I was just thinking about Zarvin.
Yeah.
Like the only thing better than Zarvin's guitar, is Zarvin's facial expressions when he plays guitar.
Ooh.
He's got like some serious guitar face.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the dank face.
Yeah.
Like he's like, God,
That's it.
who just let one go in this joint. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it going on.
Yeah, that's it. No, he's great. He's just yeah. So I think
He does a bit of recording too.
oh man, he knows the business. He's been around. And for me in my life, I've always been trying to find mentors. And then as you get a bit older, you start to sort of maybe be a bit more selective, but not as loose as you were back in the mall days. And you'd be like, hey man, you're my mentor now, but you learn from everyone. But no, definitely Zav, he's my Yoda, and it's good, just sitting back and hanging out. And I feel very honored to be doing music with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Rumble. We did the album. So that was a COVID project, and it's cool because I just sort of lay some song ideas down, and then give it a month or so, and then we'll go back for another session, and then sort of gradually get about 9 songs done, and then we're like, cool, well, we'll go launch it, and then yeah.
How would you characterize the genre of the Rumble?
Well, I think there's influences from like a lot of Jeff Buckley's music and that more emotive kind of, the Pearl Jam, all that sort of, finding that tone, and the Chris Cornell, maybe that grunge kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't maybe translate so much in the genre style. But
because I felt there's some hip hop flavors there.
There's some hip hop, well, there's trip hop as a genre has this crossover, and again, like I want to learn more about the genre, but my understanding there's this components of loop based kind of down tempo kind of vibes, and then you can add in some nice sort of whether it's an acoustic guitar or a nice little piano sort of little riff and a few things, and it's just got to have a really sort of more laid back vibe. But then I like the R&B stuff, so it kind of. I don't know if there's a definitive genre. I have been looking for it. I talked to the guys and said, what do you guys reckon we are? And then Ben, who's been around the traps for ages, he sort of just laid it down. He goes, it is what it is, more or less. And I went, you know what? Maybe I should have that attitude. Stop trying to figure things out.
Sure.
But yeah, I like the influence.
But then when someone asks you,
I go,
and they haven't heard it,
trip hop, soulful, emotive stuff.
Because just for today, you played guitar and sang for us. But the Rumble, obviously you sing there as well.
Sure.
But there you're playing keyboard and.
I don't even know what I'm playing, man. I know. I legit don't know the chords. Hey, I come from the hood. I just press these buttons. Yeah, that came from finally being able to get my Midi equipment to work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hallelujah. It's no lag. We're playing this. And then I'm like, what does this kind of do? And then you hear it like by ear.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, this sounds okay. Because I have no idea. And then I play the guitar. I'm like, oh, there's an F minor or whatever.
Sure.
So my goal for this year is actually learn like what's what to
Sure.
a degree, the chords.
Yeah.
But yeah, I laid down a loop, and I was doing another project with someone else, Alex O'Leary, doing some more like that sort of hip hop beat sort of thing.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, check this out. I did some piano, but I ended up using that. And then incorporate it into the Rumble, and then it was like, oh man, we need to like play live. And I'm here peeking out, going, I've just got 4 chords to play. Don't mess it up.
Well, piano is a hip hop staple anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the greatest hip hop tracks. You've got piano.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's all about the keys now. Like that's it, and it's just opened up a world, not just for songwriting and going through different, like guitar, you can have your effects pedals and you can do all that kind of stuff with Midi. It's just like, oh man, what I want, like some random instrument from the Himalayas, sick, chuck it on, let's go,
Yep.
So it can really be experimental with songwriting, but also just finding vibes that work well.
For sure. Like when I think of hip hop and R&B, of like say the Zeros, I think like Fuji's.
No, gotcha. I'm like, hey, the what?
Right?
Yeah, of course.
And
Fuji,
you've got guitar,
Yeah.
you've got piano, and you've got singing, and of course you've got those raps.
Yep.
That's when you cut it down, it's like so many basic ingredients, but it's like a really great cheese and pepper pasta, where the only ingredients are pasta, cheese, and pepper. It doesn't need a thing else.
For sure.
It's about having each in the perfect ratios.
Yeah. Oh, and arrangement and production.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Like I'm coming from a background of play a song And I think that's good though. I write it traditionally on guitar, and I go come up with the chord progression. So for the record, mostly, because I do ask other musicians, I say, how do you go about songwriting? But for me, mostly it's about capturing a vibe through a chord progression.
Yep.
I don't write the lyrics and sing it. I go la la la, and I go, yeah, cool, let's match something with it. And also like working with producers that make the beats, like the synthwave one, right? Although we collaborated in the creation, but mostly like it's Callum arranging it and producing, but we're like, I like that melody and so forth. But I love
Callum is in Max Power.
Callum Ball Music, check it out, or on the socials. He's doing heaps of awesome collaborations, a lot in the rap realm, but he does all different genres, and so. Yeah, but I like going on YouTube, finding instrumentals, and then going, I can sing to this. Like I can hear it as a whole. But traditionally, I get my guitar, I write a chord progression, and then I go da 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 da, and I go cool, match up those, syllables and so forth with words, and then off you go. So I guess the thing about the new mindset of writing songs and being in the studio a fair bit is I don't go, let's just write a song. I go, yeah, cool. In this part, we can have like multiple harmonies going on for the chorus. So you're really more maybe dynamic, I think, when you start thinking about songwriting instead of just writing, more simplistic sort of approach.
Sure.
Sometimes that's the way I'm looking at some, new material. But it's good because you start to feel like you're progressing and exploring new areas where music can be so easy, just going around traps.
This is where the growth is. For example, it wouldn't matter what instrument you play or anything like that.
Sure.
For example, and this is just one vector, as your understanding of music theory grows, your vocabulary. This is, as I said, it's just one vector.
Sure.
Your vocabulary, your musical vocabulary grows, and you are able to write ultimately more and more complex things, or at least you're able to express what those things are with that language. Now, the same thing, whether you start with a guitar, you add a pedal, you maybe add a beatbox, add some keys. As you access more gear, your library once again expands. And if you go back and think just like a snapshot, let's just say last 20 years, what the songs you like
has been
writing now, compared to the kinds of songs you're writing then.
Sure.
What a coincidence. But at every stage, the complexity of the song is commensurate with your vocabulary and your library, what you've got available to you. So getting together with other musicians that use a different set of gear, perhaps have different theoretical approaches to writing, this is your room for growth to expand your repertoire and write stuff with new understandings. And
you've nailed it. Exactly. No, seriously, I'm just like goosebumps right here because that's what's up. And for those who don't know, Colin, absolutely amazing musician.
Thank you.
No, honestly, that's where it's at. And it's exciting because
music excites me constantly.
Yeah. Oh no, that's it. But you're juggling where music, I had it all the time in the world, and now you got to have that drive and motivation to be like, all right, everything, these key responsibilities of what needs to be done here through work and whatever is done. Luckily I've got an outside studio, so I can go there and I can just sit there in a chair and be like, come on, music, let's go.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because I'm like, man, I got this computer like with all these amazing kind of doorways going, hey, open me up. We might find a song in here.
Yep.
And but then having other musicians that are just incredibly talented, and they kind of can give you some feedback too. And they say, you know what, stop writing a descending chord progression or whatever it is there. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I do a lot of that. So let's write a song in major. I'm like, I'm struggling, but I'll give it a crack.
Sure. Yep. That's it. Challenge yourself.
Yeah.
It's by restricting what you do.
Yeah.
That's when some of the most creative stuff can happen.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Because there's that old proverb, necessity is the mother of invention. But do you remember the school projects where you'd be like, what you've got here is 3 boxes of matches.
Yeah.
what you need to do is build a bridge that goes from this point to this point.
Right.
Or build a tower as tall as you can with these 3 boxes of matches.
No, don't know, but it sounds interesting. I want to do it.
Right. Well, yeah. There's a fantastic creative stuff that you might do at school.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you say to yourself,
gotcha.
right, I'm going to write a song.
Yeah.
Every single chord I use in it
Yep.
has to contain this note.
Oh, yeah.
Or every single chord, no chords can contain this, or this.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
an arbitrary set of rules, but it makes you think along different pathways than you're used to thinking.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Look, there's a guy that you may have come across, Tom Butler, a long time ago. And he was my first music Yoda and definitely my first real heavy music mentor. And we did a neo soul type album. It was my first attempt at that. And yeah, you know, he was like, it wasn't like ripping up lyrics, but more or less like the way I envisioned. I was like, oh, my songwriting. But he said, hang on.
Are you right?
Oh, yeah, all good.
Yep.
So Tom was like, look, don't have the word night and day in the same phrase or sentence. You know, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like there's could be rules that you have to abide by, but if we're working together, have a listen here. We got this in here. He said, Job, someone's holding a gun to your head and said, what does this song mean to you? What is it? And I'm like, oh, I never really thought about that intensely, but you know, not that you want to sort of vision that so much, but I get what you're saying though. Like, what does the song mean? Take away the backing track and just read out the words. Don't even try to sing it. Read it out. Does this really, you know, give you a fulfillment of this is convincing lyrics? Is this the level that you want to hit? Are you happy with this? Yep. So yeah, from there I was like, man, I got to really up my game a bit. And so yeah, those things have really helped me along the way of developing better as a songwriter.
Well, definitely that certainly in terms of getting some real poetry into your songwriting.
For sure.
Because if you can't just read the lyrics and get something from it, toss it out.
Yeah.
Write it till it makes sense. Yeah. You know, you need to have a story there. Now, there's some people are great poets.
Yes.
But then it's an adjacent but different skill to be a great songwriter.
Sure.
You have to be able to recognize and hit some of those cliches.
Yeah.
Cliches exist for a reason.
Yeah. Right, back to the sun. Like, yeah, that's it. 9 day. Can be there. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And certain words just sound great in songs.
Sure.
2-syllable words sound great.
Sure.
Especially when you've got a long vowel sound.
Yeah.
For example, let's say the word lying.
Sure, of course.
That's a fantastic word for a song.
That's it.
Because you get some great vocal notes out of it.
Sure. So an old music project, my first rap group, Chiggers with Attitude, ironically living in Chigwell now myself, represent. That was my attempt to play around with more syllables through rap music.
Yes.
So we're going here. Like for me, I'd be like, lying, but it can't be like, lying when I'm sitting back, blah 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 blah. Like it's for me, it's such a different way to write songs.
Totally.
And you storytelling to the max. And that's where I can start to think about, like when I'm writing or I have these are the traps I fall into, I said, let's go with the flow and what's the theme. But with the rap, you can be more like, all right, what story am I really going to write down here?
Check out this hack for rap rhymes.
Go.
Okay. So first you get a word like a great long word with numbers, syllables.
Sure.
Like consternation.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, then you want to find your rhyme for it.
Yeah. Through this nation.
Jump on the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's it. Good one.
Right.
Okay, boom. We got a song. Let's go.
So you put your long, complicated word in the second line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my fellas jump playing on the PlayStation, whipping my buddy, face filled with consternation.
Nice. That's it. You know it. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, look, there's so much about rap music that I don't know in terms of multis and all this sort of stuff, but like I hear it through my friends and that are, you know, what I consider to be really quite professionals in their game. And shout out to like dudes like Max Bladel and of course we were Grilly, you know, these guys, Big Grills have got the massive multis going on in their brain, and I'm struggling just to like match with two, you know, two or three max, you know, and they're straight off the top. But and Max Bladel, I've seen him do an amazing workshop back in the youth centre, and it was funny. We had quite a few, you know, still to this day, really great rappers, and all the boys there sitting down. And by the way, I want to see more girls in the rap scene. You know, it's quite a male dominated kind of thing.
Shout out to Denny.
So yeah, that's right. Shout out to Denny, and dare I say, should be a huge inspiration to many.
Surely she's only minutes away from mega stardom, right?
Oh, look, we're calling it. We're calling it right now, right? 2022 is going to be huge. They're the Dames, Grills, Denny, that crew. They're doing amazing things, and THC, the collective, doing phenomenal things. So you know, yeah, that was that workshop where I was just gobsmacked, and I'm like, oh yeah. Simile. Damn, I thought that was just English class. I'm like, oh man, this is real deal. Like, oh, I'm going to use that when I'm songwriting. You know, like, you start to realize, I'm like, man, I want to get into this English way more now. And that's exciting now how rap can be used as such a motivator to teach and empower speech and vocabulary, you know. So, you know, and it's good to go through Youth Arc, even though I can't really rap. I'll be going in doing a few kind of like just beginner kind of workshops through songwriting and rap. But yeah, I always love it. And still to this day, like I muck around with my loop station, doing a few more CWA raps in the studio, which might bring us to our next topic, which looks at using the loop station. So that has been a phenomenal thing, man.
Sure.
Particularly through rap, like hip hop instrumentals.
Which one are you using?
The RC505.
Oh, brilliant. So that's actually 5 channels, isn't it?
Boss 505, and they've got the new version coming out very soon. So make sure you pre-order it.
The 505. This is the desktop one.
Yeah,
you got sync, play, pause.
Designed for beatboxers. And it was Max's brother Hugo Bladel, which said
Hugo is a wizard.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, like, not only does he have to be taller,
the whole family,
and
man.
more handsome, but he's also a better singer and plays guitar better and raps better. You know.
He's just, absolutely the Messiah.
Yeah.
So I had the Boss RC50, which back in 2001, Ash Grunwood was playing at Lewisham Tavern. I got like a lot of gigs down my local pub. And he was his blues and roots dude, the slide guitar, and had a stomp box. I'm stomping away. And then use a loop station. So you got your main kind of riff going on and shredding on the top. And I was like, oh my God, there's 2 things happening at once. Like he just did that with his foot. So I'm like, one day I want to buy that. And then I bought one and like many people, couldn't use it properly, couldn't sync it up. And I had the idea with making beats, the hip hop stuff. I thought, imagine if you could do a guitar loop and sort of and lay it down with a loop station, but I couldn't make it work. So
you performing is one skill.
Yes.
Operating the loop station and performing, it's another skill.
Huge.
And there's a lot of development there.
Yes, that's it.
See, I ended up. See, I had my solo act, and I was using a looper for a while. I actually don't use a looper now. I found another path. I use sequences. But there are a couple of tips and tricks.
Definitely.
Tip number 1. If you're doing a loop, let's just say it's a 4-chord guitar loop.
Of course, easy.
Yeah, but play it 4 times and make your loop that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Long loops.
With some setups, because RC505 is a bit more.
The 505. But see, the 505 lets you sync things up. With the let's just say you're using
in general,
so I mean levels of complexity. You've got the RC3,
the
single channel looper, the RC30, which is the 2-track, and then the RC300, which is 3-track, and each track has its separate start.
Which is like the one that I had, the RC50. Yeah, it's just one step up, but exactly. So you only had to get on point, and you had to get, like, if you stuffed it up.
Because the thing is, playing along with your loops, no worries. But if you want that to be synced with, let's say, a drum machine.
Oh, yeah, nightmare.
Right. Then you start talking about adding MIDI layers and controls and much more complex.
Sure.
So if you use long loops, when it starts to go out, you just stop. And it will stay in for, much longer.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. And obviously, if you're using the, because this still doesn't make it perfect, but if you use the inbuilt metronome.
Complicated.
Yeah, once again, another complication, but that can help you bring it in. My hack now, not using loopers. My drum machine. Set at a tempo.
Oh, yeah. Hey, whatever.
the sequencer set at a tempo. Press them both at the same time.
Bang.
They stay in sync.
You're setting a vibe. That's the main thing. But you're right. Like, there's an artistry definitely to using a looper. Dudes like Ed Sheeran and so forth using like the RC30 has been a massive one there. But the 505 was set up for beatboxers particularly. And the thing was that Bladel said to me, he goes, check it out. You can get this and get 5 tracks. You've got built-in effects so you can turn your guitar to the bass. You don't need to just use the pedals. And you can lay it down. You can go this free mode, which allows you to go as long as you want. But you can also have then the restricted ones, which gives you certain lengths.
It's actually more useful for live performance. Because it basically keeps everything in sync.
And then particularly if you're doing a beat or like a, but like not beatboxing it multiple times, you just go and press the button and it will kind of get going. Where the next one, if you do a guitar loop, which instead of just having one quick length, you can actually set it to as long as you want. And so a bit more flexibility. But what I've been doing, and this is what I've been dreaming of doing, is connecting up a Midi, which allows you to do the drums, crazy, MIDI sounds, have vocal effects, whatever, have it all streaming into this loop station. And now looping has become a bit more accessible by using a pedal. And so then you can press a pedal to play the guitar because it's pretty hard to play the guitar. And I tried it with my nose. I'm like, trying to play it like this, but you just press the pedal and it records a loop.
I think with the 505, you can cue a loop as well.
I figured that one out.
I'm not sure what the control is. I think instead of tapping it, you just hold it and then it starts recording on the next cycle through.
Oh, nice one. I should check that one out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. But
because then clear that up and then get easier.
Or if you're setting the guitar.
Hugo will know.
He will know. He's the master.
Huggy B.
That's right, Huggy B. Man, what a legend. But anyway, that's us nerding out about loopers. But I've been using that a fair bit and it's good for songwriting. And then I might take it to the studio and say, hey guys, let's lay this down. But I am trying to get a performance ready so I can just be doing looping. But man, music has just been there 20 odd years and it's just constant. It comes in waves. I was doing a lot of street art stuff for a while, so I've got 2 kids. Harry, he's been doing choir, so he's 10, and he loves a bit of music, and he loves he's got this old school music teacher, Smoke on the Water, all that kind of jazz, and the Beatles, and loving it, and we just he wrote his first song, and so we went in the studio and recorded it. And I was like, oh man, and Nadina, my wife's looking at me. She goes, "You must be so proud." And I'm like, "Yeah,
got you right in the feels."
Oh, it was huge. It was huge. But we can't release it yet. Top secret. But the business of family is important. You kind of appreciate the balance a bit more in life, and the music voice in your head is just like, hey, let's go do some stuff, and be like, well, we'll get there, and then you appreciate it more when you're like, okay, I'm here ready to make music, let's make this count. And it's good to have those moments where you can use it as a healer, and a way to sort of do reflections. Always music for me has always been reflective practice, and way to express it. And gigging where you can. Jeez,
absolutely
difficult year for a lot of musicians, so shout out to everyone in the music industry.
There's one more thing to mention, actually, and this is kind of an important day, the 26th of January. Different people call it different names. I'm going to say change the date. That's my message for today. Change the date.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, man, I'm down. Look, it's one thing, you're getting taught in school, and another thing when years go by and you start to sort of become a bit more aware of the situation.
Find out about what really sort of happened and how like blatantly awful this day is for like a lot of people.
Oh, for sure. I come from through the 90s through a country school, and ain't nothing being taught to me there.
I country school too, so
yeah. So nothing bad about that, but at that particular time, and having the information available and the people around you,
just wasn't
holistic. Yeah,
it wasn't.
That's it. But hey, look, no, I agree. It's all good. Let's do it.
Cool. Thank you very much for joining us today, Joel.
Colin, let's just do this again, man. I love yabbering and just
brilliant.
Yeah,
yep. For sure. And I'll see you, I guess, next time. I'll probably see you before then.
All right. Well, look, I just want to say a big shout out to you and the team. It's amazing to capture stories. And for me personally, particularly through the work I do in the creative fields, I do want to do a lot of sort of podcasting and, doing a bit of video work. So I'm so inspired and hopefully, be doing some more just like this with you guys. So, yeah. Great. So, Joel for the Create crew, and we'll put those details down in the beautiful description. No worries. Thanks, mate.